What's up guys, my name is Stoody. I'd like to welcome you back to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be doing my AFL opening round tips for the 2025 AFL season. So here we are, we're back doing the weekly tips. I didn't think I would be doing these tips about 6 or so months ago, but here I am. So basically, just so you guys know, these tips are subject to change after this video comes out. I may change my tips throughout the week, and I have every right to do that as long as I made the tip before time runs out, before the game starts. And I will be entering my tips in ESPN, and if you'd like to join my tipping competition, link to that is in the description. Alright, so let's just start off with Thursday night. We have the Brisbane Lions taking on Geelong at the Gabba. I don't understand these stupid Thursday night games, especially when there's only 4 games on for the round. So I won't be able to watch this. I start at 3 o'clock in the morning on Friday. But anyway, I'm going to be tipping Brisbane in this one by 35 points. Geelong, I'm sure, will be pretty pissed off after getting severely robbed in the preliminary final last year. Just absolutely disgusting match fixing on the AFL's part. Brisbane, their fake premiership, I mean, their stomachs will be full, but I think because this is at home, they're going to have the match fixing on their side, as they always do, because the AFL are very desperate to grow the game in Queensland. I think Brisbane win it easily. Plus, I think Geelong are going to regress quite a lot this year, so I think Brisbane will be the clear better team anyway at home. I wouldn't be surprised if Geelong is somewhat competitive to try and get revenge for last year's robbery, but Brisbane should be too good in the end and should get the victory. Anyway, we'll move on to Friday night. Another game I cannot watch because I start at 3 o'clock in the morning for work on Saturday. I will not watch a Friday night game this year, I can promise you that. Except for maybe Richmond versus Essendon if I get the Saturday off. To be honest with you, I'll probably only watch a Richmond games if I'm actually at the games. But on Friday night, we have Sydney taking on Hawthorn at the SCG. I'm going to be Sydney in this one by 63 points. Sydney should be able to easily account for Hawthorn. Sydney surely will be hungry after all these grand final chokes. They'll be hungry to actually win the big one. They've got a new coach, Dean Cox, and Longmire was a useless coach, so they'll be happy they got rid of him. I don't know what Cox is like as a coach, but I guess we'll find out this season. Sydney have a really good team. They're a lot of superstars in their team. As for Hawthorn, they don't really have any superstars. All their players are just... They do have quite a few above average players, but they don't really have any stars or superstars. Teams like that often hover around the middle of the table and sometimes overachieve, like they did last year. Name one superstar on their team. I'm still waiting. And don't say James Sicily. A former superstar does not count. He is cooked. The Hawthorn are just overhyped, overrated. If you guys remember, over the last few years, St Kilda have been the really overhyped, overrated team. Hawthorn have become the new St Kilda. They are severely protected by the match fixing, which causes them to overachieve, just like St Kilda were. But they'll never actually win anything because they're just simply not good enough. They're going to end up stuck in the middle. They're going to be irrelevant, just like St Kilda, just like Essendon, those sorts of teams. I'd rather be in a rebuilding phase, finishing bottom 4 5 years in a row, than winning a shitload of premierships 3 and 4 years, than just being stuck in the middle. I'm expecting Sydney to bring Hawthorn back to reality on Friday night. I was actually at the game last year when Sydney absolutely annihilated Hawthorn at the MCG. I would have loved to have seen that again, but unfortunately, I don't watch Friday night games. The only way Hawthorn are any chance in this game is match fixing, really. But anyway, moving on to Saturday. Oh my god, finally a game I can actually watch. And it's a stupid twilight game. We have Gold Coast taking on Essendon at Metricon Stadium. Don't tell me they're actually going to still call it a stupid People First Stadium. Don't tell me they're actually making that a permanent name. But anyway, I'm going to win Gold Coast in this one by 14 points. Only because it is on the Gold Coast, and the Gold Coast, they play really well at home. Essendon, a very mediocre side. I mean, definitely have the potential to, make finals and win a final or two, but they're just not good enough to be a genuine contender. And also they're a sort of team that they can be bad enough to, finish like 14th, 15th at their absolute worst. But they usually start seasons pretty well, Essendon. But I think Essendon will take an L first up because, going to the Gold Coast is a pretty difficult task. It's difficult. I don't rate Gold Coast that highly as a team, but when they're at home, they're pretty good. Expect to see 90% of Gold Coast wins be a home game, and they'll still lose more games than they win. Also, the umpires severely protect Gold Coast when they're on the Gold Coast, which is why Gold Coast... Well, it's definitely a pretty big reason as to why Gold Coast gets so many wins at home. Oh, awesome, there's a Sunday game. Like, honestly, why don't you just piss off this Thursday game and make it a Saturday afternoon game, and then we have a Saturday night game? It's just fucking stupid fixturing from the AFL. It is absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous. But Sunday afternoon, we have the GWS Giants taking on Collingwood at NG Stadium. Now, Collingwood had a bad year last year, but they're one of the best teams to not make the top 8 in AFL history. I think they still won like 13 games or something like that. Had 2 draws in there as well. And both those drawn games, I believe they were robbed as well. So they definitely should have won those 2 and make finals. It robbed them finals. As for the Giants, they really underachieved last year, big time. They did manage to make the top 4, but got robbed in the semi-final against Brisbane before Brisbane won their tainted 2024 premiership. I mean, the 2024 premiership is just as tainted as the 2016 premiership. Both of them are by far the 2 most rigged final series in AFL history. 2 of the worst premieres in AFL history. GWS would have beat Geelong, I think, and would have been in the grand final against Sydney and possibly win the whole thing. So, yeah, they would definitely rob the premiership last year, so they'll be pissed off. Collingwood will also want a really good start to their season, but I'm tipping the GWS Giants in this one by 19 points, mainly because it's at home for the Giants. I think they'll be too strong at home, but it should be a pretty close game, I think. Pretty good game. So this is, I guess, the main game that I would be looking forward to. And I actually get to watch this game because I have Sunday off. How good is that? One thing I want to say before wrapping up this video is one of my friends showed me this. So basically at Metricon Stadium for the opening round game, Gold Coast versus Essendon, they're doing some stupid pre-game baby show thing. Like, what in the fuck are the AFL thinking? I don't know if it's the AFL or the Gold Coast Suns that have organised this shit, but this is just... Why are you having a baby show thing at a football game, a men's football game? It's one of the stupidest things I've ever seen in my life. Now, the only adults that would actually enjoy that are Justin and Southey. Thank fuck I'm not on the Gold Coast for opening round this year. Well, last year was pretty shit as well. I will be at the MCG next week to see Richmond destroy Carlton. I have a ticket to the game and I have Friday off because I put in for holidays. Then I'm pretty sure I'm going to go to the Collingwood Port Adelaide game on Saturday night. But yeah, this is the opening round tips. Anyway, tell me your thoughts on opening round. I think it's shit. It's so shit. It's, I mean, it is kind of good for us YouTubers. It means the off season is less time and it means we get more views and more subscribers, but it's not good for the players. I think it definitely creates more injuries, and I think the season, even round 1, starts way too early. I don't think the season should be starting on March 13th. At the very earliest, I think March 20 should be when the season starts. But if I was in charge, I would make it March 27. I think late March is when it should start. But anyway, feel free to leave your tips in the comment section down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment like this. Be sure to become a channel member. Just click the join button next to my name. Also be sure to subscribe to my premium King Goals with Nick. Link to his channels in the description. Also be sure to subscribe to my other YouTube channels. Be sure to subscribe to my podcast channel, King Snakes of Stoody. Also be sure to subscribe to my second YouTube channel, Stoody Archives. Links to both of those are in the description. Also be sure to join my Discord server, Discord Australian Sports Community. Link to that is in the description. Also be sure to follow me on my other social media accounts. I have Twitter and also have TikTok. The username for all those is StoodyYT. Links to all those will also be in the description. I hope you had a good day, and I'll see you all in the next video.